G'day, I'm Adrian, and this is my place. G'day everyone, welcome to the fish room. Oh geez, it's not that bad. We actually, despite Ziggy's yawn, are really stoked that you're here. We appreciate the time that it takes to come and watch our videos, and we're very grateful, so thank you. Today's video, I'm going to pop him down, is, as the title says, it's all about breeding the Electric Blue Acaras. Thank you, MD Fish Tanks, for the really cool merch. I bought it, it's not sponsored. So, yeah, this is one of those ones. Funnily enough, it's actually on the top of the videos list that I showed last week, well, a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was, in relation to what I had as far as new ideas. And I wasn't, it was just, that was just purely coincidence, because very quickly thereafter, my mate's second spawn, I had a huge spawn of Acara, so that's what's brought this video up in priority list now. So I really hope you enjoy it. I'm going to give you some tips on just how I do it. It's not overly hard. Probably more the raising of the fry is where the tips and tricks might come in handy for you. So they'll pretty much do it themselves. But I want to give you a bit of a background on them as well, and hope that you enjoy learning about these guys and how I breed them. So go and get comfy, because I'm going to go and talk about fish, specifically Acaras. So these are the guys that are featuring on today's video. These are the babies that are still in the tank over here. In fact, I'm going to show you in this video, there's still 5 babies over there. I'm going to move roughly the size. I think the boy's probably a little bit larger, and I've decided to make, this is obviously 8-footer. I'm going to make this an Acara angel tank. I don't know if I've seen one of those on YouTube before, but this dude is the big daddy. So this is how big they get. Size comparison to my hand, you know, they're pretty big. Obviously very friendly fish, not concerned. So he's the boss of the tank, and that's his number 1 girlfriend there. He has 2 girlfriends, so he breeds with her over here amongst this little section here. There's no flat rock here, which is I think why that I think he's been digging the plants out and all the rest of it. I need to put a flat rock in here of some description. They tend to keep the algae eater, especially the big Siamese algae eater, and he's massive. I would have to say 6-7 inches maybe. So they keep him away from it when they're in the egg mode, as well as the wriggler stage. Yeah, this is the other girl. This is the large girl, and she is a little bit smaller than him. They're obviously, the lights are going off here at the minute, as you can see on the 8-footer. And I have to do a water change actually, but it's not too bad for filming, and I won't get a chance tomorrow night, so that's why I'm doing it now. But they haven't been fed, which is why they're hanging around. I'm going to do that now and just show you what their appetite is like, and how they interact with the angels during the feed as well, and the tetras, of course. So before the lights go off, I'm just going to feed that 8-footer. I've fed the rest of the room bug buffet tonight, Nick's bug buffet. I've also got some, I think they're Orca brand protein pellets in here as well. So I mix it up every other night pretty much, and I feed a lot of the Aqua Munch stuff as well. Not so much to these guys. I don't have a bigger variety of the Aqua Munch product to actually suit these guys, which I'll certainly talk to the guys about over there. But for now, the protein pellets, particularly for the Corydoras, which you'll see ripping around in there somewhere, I thought. Is he in there? Yeah, there's a whole heap of them in there, so they'll come out, as well as the plecos, and that's probably not enough for tonight really, but I'm just going to feed them here so that you can see just how they interact. I mean, they're bossy and they're dominant, but they're not aggressive, if that makes sense. And they'll eat anything, like literally. There isn't a food that they don't eat. So I think they share the space pretty well as a community fish, like as a feature or standout community fish. I certainly highly recommend them. They're brilliant. They're like pets, and they will feed out of your hand. Now I'll just dump the rest of this up here in the dark. I'm not sure how much you can see on the camera, but there's other pleco caves and cories up this end. In fact, that'll probably bring the cories out in the dark section. And then the rest of it just goes down here for the same reason. I know I've got baby plecos, peppermint plecos in there. I've seen them in there a few times now. So, and here's the big boy. He's a very attractive fish. I just wish I didn't have him in this particular tank. I think if I can catch him out, I will one day. I might have to set a trap for him, but he's he's a stunning fish, and he doesn't bother anyone. But he's definitely, I think, going to get to that stage. There's one of the cories out now.
So I should probably explain how this video started. If you've been watching for a while now, you might have seen the rescue tank that I did for my neighbour across the road. And if you did, you would have seen me add three of the Electric Blue Acara babies that I've got, the same ones that are in my fish room right now next to my laundry tub. Those guys have obviously thoroughly enjoyed the care that they're getting over there, and they're extremely happy in this tank obviously too. So they've bred, and this is their first batch, which is quite awesome. I think they were probably on the younger side as far as I would have thought to breed, but again, very happy fish. So they've had their first babies, and my neighbour was like an expectant mother. He he was very concerned about getting them out and getting some of them to live. So we siphoned them out, and yeah, they came across to live at my place in the fish room. That, of course, left no babies in his tank. So what did the parents do? They went straight back and made batch number 2. So same there. We siphoned them out, and they came across to live in the fish room. So all was going well, no problems with that. And having these guys in my room is really quite cool, and I was happy to grow them up again. It's another generation. But then, of course, as things do, my plans changed again because this happened. It's about 6 a.m. and I was just heading off to work, and I noticed that we have these little guys in here. I'm going to have to siphon some out because they just won't survive in the 8-footer, obviously. I have fed this end of the tank and got the angels down here. They've done a pretty good job, but the parents are not going to be able to keep up. So I think I'll take some of them out so at least some of them survive. And yeah, wow, more acaras. So I've ended up getting pretty much all of them out except these little guys here. It'll make it much easier for these parents to look after them, but I still don't think any will survive in there. And the babies for today, because I've got to get to work, are in here. So I don't think you'll see them. Obviously I've got them under there, but there would be well over 100, 150, maybe 200. There was a heap in there. So anyway, more acaras. What can I say? I need more tanks.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, so I've been at work all day, and as you can probably tell, so it's now exactly say 10 past 7. So I've been home about 10 minutes. What I did when I siphoned them out, obviously, was put them into this bucket. So it's been 13 hours. I'm just going to have a look. I haven't got a torch. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm good to go. Pays to be prepared, I guess. Now, I haven't seen these guys. Oh, look, there are some. Oh, cool. Hopefully you can pick up there. There's still quite a swarm. See if I can zoom in a little. There they are. So yeah, that's a decent swarm, isn't it? Yeah, okay, sweet. I was hoping that would be the case. So I'm going to feed them. What I did was just grab some pothos and threw in the bucket. And just some pennywort, which has done well by the looks of it. And I also threw some in over here because I am surprised, but I've got a little swarm of babies down here. Hopefully the camera picks up on them. Let me see if I can get a better angle. There they are. So what I thought is I'll give her the best chance of getting a few of these guys to survive, and I've just broken off a bit of pothos and stuck in here with a rock to give her. I'll zoom out and just you'll see it's like it creates a bit of a barrier between the large angels that are just waiting to snap up the fry and also the large tetras, which are these guys over here. So this sort of stops the angels to see Dad's out here. This is Auntie by the looks of it. And sorry, the glare's really bad, huh? Let's see if that's better. So Dad's out here doing his job, keeping the angels away. There's the barrier. And particularly if you're going to try to breed any fish, or let them, raise up in a community tank like this, you've got to leave a light on. You have to, otherwise you can almost guarantee your fish will be gone. So this one I'm just going to leave on tonight to give enough light, if I stand over here, to give enough light, just subtle light over here, so Mum will be able to stay in here and keep the babies together. They'll be able to see her, she'll be able to see them, and then anyone else that's trying to get to her, she'll be able to see coming in. So fingers crossed they'll be there in the morning. But as far as the bucket is concerned, Pretty happy with that one. Now I've got these guys up here, and as of tonight, they're still doing really well. These guys are growing up really, really well. Happy with their size, happy with their behaviour, feeding brilliantly. So I'm just going to give that maybe a little water change on the weekend, top it up. These guys are doing well. Let's see, I haven't got that light on them. So yeah, that swarm seems to have, I guess, kept a reasonable size to it. So there's still a lot of babies in there, and the gold lasers are still doing well. They spend heaps of time going up and down the glass in the tank. So really happy with them. I think that other spawn I probably will put in here, but it's too small at the moment. I think if it were to hover on the ground, these guys would actually feed on them. So I'll give them probably a week before I drop them into that tank, and then I'll have all of the Acaras up here. I don't really want to hazard a guess as to how many, but it is pretty cool. It's going to look great in a large grow out tank having this many Acaras in there. Now, as far as what else I'm going to add to the tank and their initial feeding goes, I've got a cup of green water here, so I'm definitely putting that in. There will be enough live food in that to entice a few to have a snack. I've also got probably about 10-ish trumpet snails, one of the only times I advocate trumpet snails. So what happens is, the reason I put those in is they will eat up any food that these babies don't eat. They will also eat up any of the dead bodies. If some of these guys will die, that's just the way it goes. But they'll clean up any of the mess that's on the ground and keep that water fresher for longer. So they're in there. Now the other thing I want to give them is this. So I've got some of Nick's Bug Buffet, and it crushes up really fine like a powder. So it doesn't matter what fish food you've got, you need to make sure it's really fine. And I have all I'm going to do is just sprinkle a really small amount on the top and let that sink down as well. Now, if you're wondering if Ziggy settles down and becomes less ball crazy over night time, the answer is no. Here he is here, whatever time it is now. And admittedly, I haven't played with him today. I've been at work all day, but I will throw the ball for him for about 10 or 15 minutes now. Before I head upstairs and sort something out for dinner. Mrs. Fisherim's away tonight. She's babysitting our granddaughter, which is brilliant. For both me and her. My granddaughter, that is. Okay, a couple of days have gone by. It's now like 34, I think it is today, degrees Celsius. Hasn't stopped Zig wanting to chase the ball. But what I have to do today is get the babies out of the bucket that they're in into a tank that I've set up, which I'm going to show you now. Okay, so I was just walking past the bucket, changed my mind. I thought I'd show you my green water. How green is that green water? I'm also growing mint out of here. This is the most delicious mint. It's oh yeah, just delicious. And all I do is I siphon out of, which I'm doing now for a water change. I've filled that pot up and those pots over there, but I actually run the water through this as well. So and into the green water. So that's how I keep that little area going. Okay, so they're still in the bucket. Quick update on the bonsai tank, if you were wondering how. I haven't got my grow lights in yet, but check out the growth that's coming onto the swampies. So they're doing pretty well, simply with, again, I don't know if you've watched the other videos, that spotlight and that fluoro. And yeah, it's I think it's quite happy there. I'm still going to get the grow lights, but it's certainly not suffering. Now, what I've set up is this tank here, which obviously was previously the crab tank. I've just set this up now for the babies in the bucket, and I don't know how many, like well over 100. So that'll be a bit bigger grow out tank than the other ones, which are up here. So I'm filming above my head, so I can't really see if there's any glare. So this is the baby Corys, the gold lasers, doing well. All of the other babies had brine shrimp this morning, and there's still a heap in here. If they're on camera or not, it's not feeding time, and the other ones have grown up more again, I think, since the last time I filmed. And just a heap of those guys. So that then leads us to here. Yeah, I need a torch. Okay, so hopefully you'll see. Oh yeah, they look okay on camera. And they're all over here as well. Okay, so hopefully you can see the little swarm, little school of them down there. So little, there are quite a few. They're all through here as well. Okay, so these little guys seem to be doing quite well. There's a heap of them in here. I think I'm just going to get them, all of those plants out, and what will happen is they'll go to the bottom of that tub or bucket, and then once they are down the bottom, I can then drain most of the water out and then tip the rest of it into their new home. Do that right now. Righto, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, and I definitely got more than I thought was going to be in here. So I haven't decided whether to count them or not yet. Quite a few. So I think all I'm going to do with these guys now is take them straight across here. I did clean the glass yesterday, so hopefully it looks okay for a release shot. That's their tank from down here. I really like this Brazilian pennywort, I think it is, floating on top there. Looks like the leaves of a lily, but underneath it has these great root structures for the fry to hide in and also feed off of. So awesome for any type of fry that's not a bottom dweller. Okay, maybe this way. I'm hoping to get them all out pretty much in one go would be nice. Do you want to count them as they come out? Put how many it was in the comments. Come on. Okay. There's still more. I'm trying to avoid them being stuck on the plastic. There we go. A couple on there. I think, let me just check. Alright. I'm happier with them in there than I was when they're in the bucket. And they'll get to know me pretty well, I think. And they're not usually shy fish. Let's look from the top. So that's those guys in there now. Okay, so I'm going to have a bit of a whinge, which is, unless you're talking to Mrs. Fishroom, pretty rare. I usually take things in my stride, and I'm sure I will with this as well. So I'm doing a water change, and I'm trying to work out how just to edit this last bit of the video, because it's actually quite difficult with all this footage and historical and all the rest of it. And I thought, oh well, I'll have a crack at it, and then but I go and throw the ball for zig, and I walked out here, and then I thought, what's that? And of course, I now have another spawn of these guys. I guess it's a first world problem, if you want to put it in those terms. But I mean, what do I do with these guys? Like, if I've got, I have to have 400 now. Like, I mean, there's at least 100, 150 or more in there. So a bit of a shot from around here, maybe. Put a bit better, the glare. So this is the, this just, I guess, shows that a male will easily spawn with 2 females. So this is the old wife, the original, the female that he spawned with, and I've got lots of babies out of. Interestingly, she's keeping him over there. I have just fed these guys over here to keep them away from the babies. But this was his new girlfriend, and who produced the last lot of spawn, which I think I siphoned out from in here. So he's done the deed with her as well, and produced lots and lots and lots of bubbies. So I think I will siphon them out, but again, it's a bit of a compounding problem. I mean, what you have is, yeah, you got, those babies compounding every week that they grow with food as far as feeding them. So this is where I'm at. I'm thinking I could put them in here. This is where the black Venezuelan cories are. Now these guys, I'm looking at White Cloud, there was 2 in there I saw, and I've only got 1. So anyway, 50% success rate with breeding those guys. Down here, there was one. Over there, the black Venezuelan cories, and these are the ones that I bred. There we go. And I wasn't sure if they potentially might have hybridized crossed with the albinos, but they haven't. They're as black as all get out. Oh, and one other interesting thing is I noticed I've got baby pandas in here too. So the tub breeding experiment, if you're watching for an update and you've been watching for a while, I've seen 2 little bubbies in there, and they're probably a centimetre long now. I don't know if they'll come out until I feed them, but yeah, that was successful. As far as will they breed in the tub? Yes. I think that's where those guys are going to go from down there. This is where the other ones are at. They're not all out at the moment, but you'll get to, I think, get an idea of just how many there are, and I'll give them some brine shrimp in a second. But if you can see, pretty much the whole tank is covered with Acara babies yet again. Now I know they're not your favourite, are they? Hey, what are you doing? We've actually got a dog that was injured on the farm here. We've had him here for a couple of weeks. His name's Brutus, which is another reason why it's taken me so long to get the this video out. But Ziggy's got a mate, the sheriff, who is an American staffy, and I will show some footage of him as well. But this is the other option for the tank to put them in. Now I can't see, I'm holding the phone up there, but that's got the babies from the gold lasers in here, the cories. So I think it's a pretty cool tank actually. I wouldn't mind putting them in there. I'm just hoping that these guys sort of don't sit on the bottom and feast on them. This is was this the second group? Yes, the second group of Electric Blues. This is where they're at the moment, as far as size wise, and yeah, all of the tips I've most likely mentioned before earlier in this video. That's how I can try to keep them growing and happy and healthy. So this is the very first batch that came out, and I'm really happy with these guys. I mean, I don't think I've lost hardly any, and they're growing beautifully, they're active, just got all the personality traits even at that size of the Acaras. So that's where we stand. I think this tank looks pretty good from the top. I guess you're about to see some time lapse of me siphoning these guys out, and then yeah, which tank is the question. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh, but actually, quickly before we do, I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't piss too many people off that I change my mind all the time. I thought, given it's an instructional video, yeah, what do you want? Oh, probably not much of that in this video so far. Yeah, don't stress, he's continuously chasing the ball, whether or not it's on video. So I want to use a siphon to get these guys out. But given it's an instructional video, I should probably just talk through how you go getting them out of a community tank like this one, or any size, without harming them and without using a net. I always prefer not to use a net and kick the ball, throw the ball. So I'm going to use this size bucket. Now, I call it a Goldilocks hose, but it's basically, you've got to get the right size, not too big, not too small, exactly the right size. So for this exercise, I don't want too much water coming out, for example, through this one or this one. It'll fill the bucket too quick, and I will end up with a ton of water and fry still left at the bottom. So I'm thinking this size is probably almost perfect. It'll be a relatively slow drain. It's a dirty hose, but that is what it is. And I'll be able to get most of the fry into the bucket. So that's the plan now, and I will show you that. But I just thought, again, I changed my mind. And I know it's only been a second for you guys, but it's been, I don't know, probably 10 minutes from me, and I'm had a little bit of inspiration. And what I'm thinking, because I don't have a tank, the reality is these guys eat baby brine shrimp from the surface. I watch them do it. So do these guys. So given these fry are so small, the consideration is, will they act like a school of sharks? Look at them up there at the top now. You can see that they're actively looking for food at this level. So if I go and drop in, I probably had more. Yeah, I know, Zeke. What do you want? This is his contracted segment for his time on film. So I probably had more white clouds, just thinking about it. And what's happened is they've probably knocked them off. I mean, they were probably the right size to do that when they got in there. So these guys would probably do okay. They could probably go in there, but I've got one sponge filter and potentially 400 Acaras in there. So what I was thinking, because I've got to think grow out and also feeding them, and let's say there's, I don't know, 600, 700, 800, 1,000, who knows? I won't know till I, collect them all up really at the end of it. But this tank here, I thought I might make this the Acara tank and move those to, you won't see it there, but anyway, it's the Leilupi tank that's up the top over there. I've got 3 yellow Leilupi that are thrown in there as opposed to my purples, and I don't want them in there, so I've got to take that whole tank down, catch those 3 out, leave the 2 that are left in there, take these guys, put them up there, put the Acaras in there. It wasn't a bad plan, but then I thought, again, how many hundred on this one sump? So what I'm going to do is this, and yeah, it's raining outside. Yeah, get the ballsy. And I say that what I'm going to do is, obviously with a disclaimer that I might change my mind, is I'm going to get either one of these IBCs or one of the round tubs that the goldfish were in. I think the shrimp are in up there at the moment as well. The ex-goldfish tub, if you've watched some of my older videos. And I'm actually thinking of putting them outside. I want one of those round tubs for the Gadids, and I want one, I think, to grow these guys up outside, which the colours will be spectacular. How cool is this? I think this is it's an edible plant, I know that. It's water kale. I'm pretty sure it's water kale. This is actually what I'm going to make as the feature plant in the Acara. Well, it's going to be the Acara tank, but now will be the Acara pond. So it'll be out there for grow out. They should look amazing in the sunlight as well. Where's that ball? Give me that ball. What are you doing? Is it wet? Too wet. Get your ball. Come on. So they should look amazing in the sunlight. Hopefully that makes them spectacular, even as little bubbies. And then what that does is allows me to move these guys on pretty quick. So yeah, if you live in Australia and you want Acaras, either myself and or the aquariums I give them to will definitely ship them to you. So the light's going out. I've got to hit the time lapse and do this because they won't most likely be there if I don't do that tonight. So if I left the light on, they probably would, but at the same time, I'm not going to risk it. I've got to work tomorrow. So, all right, Daddy, I'm going to save some of your babies. What a good boy you are. What a good boy you are. These guys are genuinely like puppy dogs. What a good boy you are. Oh, yes, you are. I know. These guys are true wet pets. If you haven't got one, just, yeah, think about it because they're brilliant. I love them, obviously. Okay, so I feel like a real ass for doing that. Oh, you want a better look? You want a better look? Yeah. Do not take that sponge, boy. Or the rocks. Yeah, just see what he gets out of there. Anyway, I feel like a real ass for doing that, but I didn't take them all. I like to leave some. There's probably still quite a few there, obviously. Look, essentially they're dead. As much as I hate saying that. Those guys, they're going to get eaten, but I also want the mum to go through the process of looking after them. Now, one of the key things that you've got to have on if you're going to have a community tank or any success, any chance of success, and you will, and I think I've got some of that in this video with my mates. We just got to the point there were so many we didn't bother siphoning them out, and we left the light on, and that is probably the key to the community tank survival. And the fish that survive will be really, they'll be the best of the best, really, because they'll learn to hide. They'll learn everything from the parents. In fact, these parents, this female and the other big boy, wherever he is down there, they were actually community bred, so they were raised by their parents. I would much prefer to have a tank with just these guys in and let them raise them up themselves. It's obviously the best for the fish, and for me as the fish keeper, or you as the fish keeper, to not have to feed these little buggers. Yeah, there's still quite a swarm in there, isn't there? Maybe I should take some more. I just don't like, knowing that they're going to die. So here's the, what's that? In a minute, we'll throw the ball in a minute. So here's the result of what I did get. I mean, I don't know how many there are. If anyone wants to count them, please put it in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. I'm not going to. So that's what I got. And yeah, what to do with them. So I think I probably shouldn't even say it. What I should do is just do it, and then actually I wouldn't look so indecisive. But I think of something, and then I ponder on it for a minute, and then realize, oh, okay, what about that? I like to look at all options from both sides. So I think anywhere that's got other fish in it, they're going to be bait. I've never drained these tanks. This is full of RO water, all of those, but I'm actually just thinking of draining this tank here, maybe 80%, filling it with just tap water or some water from this tank over here, and then just growing them out in there for a little bit, because I want them to go outside in those ponds, and I think I've got the best chance of success there. So I think that's what I'll do. I guess I should put it in time lapse and show you that process as well. I will try to be quick because it's getting a bit late. It's oh no, it's not really. 20 to 6. I'm not in trouble yet. So not that I would be, of course, Mrs. Fisher. I never get in trouble with Mrs. Fisher. I'm always on time. So yeah, all right. I'll get into it. You should be able to watch this now. Now, just quickly, while I'm, I guess, doing this, putting this out, I'm not sure if you're new to the channel, you might not have seen me actually do this before, but what I like to do is get a bunch of whatever plant that it is, get the longest one, and actually, there's a thin bit. What I'd like to do is to wrap it around like so. And then what I've got is this knot or this ball at the end here, and that's what I use to actually plant into the substrate or put a rock on top of. And it will hold that together like a bunch, even though it's a whole heap of individual plants. Now that's them released in the tank. I've just fed them a little bit of baby brine shrimp, and that I just hatched out today actually, which is good time for them, so they'll swim around all night. I've also given them some bug buffet from Nick from Keeping Fish Simple, so that stuff for me is perfect as far as size wise to get to these guys. I don't have anything in comparison, although I am very keen to try out the Aqua Munch version of the fry food as well, because I haven't had any of that in I will get in touch with Graham. Hello, Graham, if you're watching. So I've got to work out, like, it's a genuine problem, like, to feed this many fish. I've got to work out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it economically as well. Plus, not only those fish, but I mean, all these other dudes. The fish room's not looking fantastic at the moment because I've been so busy. Now, of course, that leaves the remaining babies. I'm pretty sure they're going to go, but at least I'll give her the chance to raise them, and it won't necessarily be my fault, even though I feel terrible. I feel terrible for taking those guys out of there. So what I do in the community tank is set up a light, quite a decent one, for her, so she's got the chance to protect her babies. I'm working tomorrow. I get up at 5, so I've got the chores to do before I head off to work, so I'm not going to get a chance to do anything with them. But if they're there tomorrow afternoon, I might even siphon them out, just to be, I don't know, I just don't like killing them. I know they're going to get eaten otherwise. So, all right, so that's them at the moment. I will give you a look in the tank tomorrow when it clears up a bit tomorrow night, and hopefully get to the end of this video. So every time I think I've got to the end, it's been really difficult to edit, just based on the time it's taken to put these random clips together to some sort of half decent narrative, which I hope it is. So if it's not, let me know in the comments, and I won't do it again. But yeah, I'm actually really enjoying the process because, like with the Corridorian videos, when I set out to do that breeding, I was actually quite surprised. Zig, where are you going, boy? Sheriff, get your butt back up here. Goodness me, we didn't go off in the dark, especially not across the road. Thank you. So yeah, so it's been one of those things that with the Corridora breeding video, they bred for me as I wanted them to, and these ones sort of went the other way. They bred, and I had to do the video. But this is the brother and sisters of the ones in the rescue tank that I've done. So these guys are ready to breed now, as you can see with this boy here. Hello, mate. Come over here. Not as tame as the other ones because I don't put my hand in here as much, but as you can see, they're not overly scared. But the rainbows I have found to be quite brutal in here, funnily enough. So those guys, I am going to move them in, as I said before in this video, across to the 8-footer. Hopefully I'll get that done Saturday morning, and I'll get a video out for you guys. But anyway, that's about it for tonight, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, I might change my mind, but I've got to feed the room now, so I'll get into that. And it's what time is it? Oh, it's not too bad, 6:45. I'm not in trouble yet, but if I am, it's your fault. So anyway, we'll get.
What are you doing, boy? You helping? What are you helping me with? You gonna put that away for me? Yeah, all right. Well, I guess you can have that. I don't really use it for too much other than carrying some rocks around. But thanks for your help, boy.
All right, so I'll keep this quick because I know that the quality of my iPhone 10 is not great under the darker conditions. But basically, this is how the fish room will look tonight with this much light on, as far as the community tank is concerned. And hopefully, you know, I'd like to think we can get a few through. My mate has, and yeah, we'll just check that out. Zig is, yeah, he's pretty much still on sheriff duty. Everything is pretty much done for tonight, so I've got to turn this light off. I've got this live food that I'm going to stick into the, in fact I'll do it now whilst I'm talking, if you don't mind coming along for the journey. I am in so much trouble. I am going to have to blame you guys, or you, specifically you, the person watching this, is that yeah, I kind of lost track of time, and it is now way past the time that I'm supposed to be upstairs. So anyway, Mrs. Fishroom, as I say, doesn't watch these videos. This is for the knife, the ghost knife goes in there. He's got some gudgeons in there. I know it's hard to see, so I won't bother with that too much. If this looks crap when I'm editing, I probably will cut this out. But this here's another, I suppose I should show you, is just some blackworms. So some live stuff that I got from RC Aquariums, and I have 3 fish that need it. The ones that I did first were it's the male that's left of the red tiger Darios. The tub down here, I really don't know how to make that any brighter, but the lights are out obviously. And then this one here, hopefully you'll at least see the blur of that going in there. That's for the Muramid and my elephant nose. So that's kind of it. I have a few manual lights I turned to blue. Everything else is sort of set for tonight. I will show you how that tank looks in the morning, and hopefully we've got all of those fry survived. That's it, with the exception of turning these lights off for tonight. That is how the fish room looks most nights, although I do turn this light up just whilst I've got babies, because it gives more of a glow for the whole room, and particularly for these ones up here over night time. I think certainly night lighting is it's super important for fry survival. So I've got these guys down here, which is pretty dark, but if you look up this way, they'll have this light that they can see from where they are, and they'll congregate at the front of the tank. But you know, that's probably the best tip that I can say, is make sure you have some sort of lighting in the room if you've got fry. All right, well, let's see what tomorrow brings.
So Zig is just helping me clean up. He's actually helping me catch this blue ice cream container, which is really difficult to get, and yeah, he's actually helping me out just heaps at the moment. Zig? Yes. Oh, how fantastic is it? Oh, it's so good to have a helper. What a good boy you are. You killing it? Yeah, there's not much chance that that blue container will survive.
Okay, so it's the next afternoon, and the sheriff just got into a scrap with the dog across the road. So yeah, he's actually he's in quarantine at the moment, timeout zone. Now the fish that were in here last night, they actually survived. I'm super surprised. She's a good mum though. She's experienced, and oh geez, do I take him out or not? I'm not sure. Probably not at this stage. I'll just leave them. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to introduce you to Brutus. So this is Brutus. He's not my dog. He's my mate's dog. And my mate went up to Central Queensland and basically got stuck up there. And during that time, Brutus was at home with other people, but he went wandering and he's dislocated his hip really badly, and he's had hip surgery. So you can see the wound there, and he's a beautiful dog. He's I think he's an American Staffy. Aren't you beautiful? Gorgeous dog. He's a security dog and a farm dog, so he would be he's pretty scary sometimes. But as far as these dogs go with their family and their friends and their owners and stuff, they're just gorgeous. So this is Brutus. He and Ziggy get on quite well, which is pretty cool. I'll let the sheriff out of timeout. All right, boy, you stay here and you be a good boy. Goodness me. Come and see Brutus. Come on. I'll see Brutus. Come on. So Brutus is recovering here. He'll probably stay here for a few weeks. He and Ziggy get on great. And because, of course, Brutus accepts that he's the sheriff's deputised position and he's the boss. Don't lick. So yeah, so he's going to be here for a few weeks. So you'll probably see him. I'm going to rehabilitate him here. We've actually got the facilities that my mate doesn't really have on the farm, and there's a whole heap of other dogs on the farm, as you've already seen in other videos. So yeah, he might make an appearance here and there. Now, where we're at with these guys was last time I checked, they were all still in here. I think there's some over the back there. So I think what I'll do is I'll feed and see if I can't bring these guys out, because there they are, right up the back. I can see them all up there. So I'll drop some baby brine shrimp and some stuff in and see if I can get them out. But the tank's cleared up. There was like 100 plus in there this morning. So yeah, I really have no idea how many of those guys I've got. And I don't have many of these guys, which I'd like some more of. Anyway, I'll feed these guys right now. So what do I feed them? Well, at the moment, because I have obviously these brands here, Nick's Bug Buffet, some green cuisine. I drop in afterwards, obviously for it's a sinking one, but they do tend to pick it and put small amounts in. Also have been feeding the Aqua Munch brand as well, particularly the decapsulated brine shrimp. I'm stoked with that product. And I do drop in occasionally, probably every third or fourth feed, a bit of the shrimp food as well, because I think that it's obviously meant for crustaceans and it's got all the minerals and vitamins etc. for those guys. But I don't think it hurts the fish at all. Plus, it's a green food as well. So for me, that's what I'm feeding at the moment. But these guys will eat pretty much anything. Like, they are not fussy. If you feed flake food or you have tetracolor tropical granules like I've had, and that Lucas Bretz only feeds from LRB Aquatics. Check out his channel. He's an awesome dude, and I love his stuff. So yeah, he feeds tetracolor to pretty much everything. So in conclusion with the foods, if you can get this stuff, great. It's fantastic. Please do support the guys that have definitely been supporting me. And if not, don't stress. Get whatever you can, as best quality food as you can, of course. But I would think that they'll pretty much survive and thrive on anything. As far as water parameters go, these guys obviously are in the 8-footer, and they've just bred. This water is probably about 6.5, I would think, as far as the pH is concerned. Now, they will take very, very wide range of water parameters and conditions. So there's Mum over there now again. Zig's actually out there on his time out without his lead on. He's just doing the sheriffing thing. Yeah, I'm talking about you. When I had the Acaras up here in this tank here, that was a flow-through system for this hard water, and you can see I've got lots of coral, and there's a few what are they in there? They are Pseudotrophus celosi, maybe. I think they are, and there's a couple of multifasciatus in there as well. So that's like a Franken sump, and is really, yeah, I don't know what to do with that sump. I've got to really pull it apart. But this system here, I've had Acaras in all of these tanks, so no problems at all as far as water parameters are concerned. And I think that they'll pretty much adapt to anything. Now, what size tank can you breed them in? Well, I've bred them in everything. So I've bred them in this tank size here. Obviously, I've bred them in the 8-footer here. I've bred them in these size tanks over here. I think in particular it was this one. No, actually, it was the one below it, down here. I've also bred them in, that's a dirty tank. Look at the lights are off and the plants are all over it. But I had bred them in this size tank as well. And I really do think you could breed them in tubs, no problems at all. So tank size, as long as they've got a lot of plant cover, I think, for example, this would be an ideal tank to put them in, really. There's enough plant cover, there's some rocks, there's some place to dig, and that's a 3-foot, I think, by 1.5 by 1.5 maybe. So yeah, this would be an ideal tank, particularly set up just to breed Acaras. I think you would smash out babies in a tank that size. Again, whilst I was thinking putting them there, they would have done great for a grow out. But I'm still sticking with my tub idea. It's 24 hours. Haven't changed my mind. All right. So that's those guys. I think pretty much done. I think. Now, whilst I appreciate this little bit here doesn't have anything to do with Acaras, I'm really happy with the way that this is growing out. And I just splashed a bit of water on it. If you saw in Nick's video, I actually, it's dwarf hairgrass, I think it's Java moss, some terrestrial moss, and I've got some more terrestrial moss here, and this little plant growing out. But the reason I'm showing you is this. How cool is that? I'm going to flower inside under lights, and the lights that I'm using are just these LED spotlights, flickers, but yeah, I just thought that was worthy of showing my very first flower in this room. I'll put the species of the plant up now, actually. There you go. How cool's that? Look at what it is. So that's a pretty good view. I do sit here a bit because I'm close to my Gadir tank, which again has got nothing to do with the Acaras, but I do love them. So yeah, okay. I've had to put him. I know. I've had to put him. Please, mate, sit down. I had to put him back on his leash because he's running across the road again. But I've actually just realised that yeah, his mother's home. So anyhow, you want to go and see your mother? Just wait. Go on then. Go and see your mother. Okay, well, here we are. As you saw, Zig's mother's home, and she had a barbecue chicken. There was no chance that I was going to keep him here. So Brutus, thank you for filling in. You're a good boy. Yeah? You're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah, this is my security dog. Doesn't look it, huh? Anyway, I just want to say thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed that video. It was really, it's been fun to film, but it's been super hard to edit because of all of the short bits and pieces. So I hope it comes together okay. If you've got to this point and you've watched it, then it must have been, you know, passable at least. I know that we've got probably 500 plus new subscribers. Thank you so much. Like, you have no idea how much that means to me since Nick's last video has come out. And to everyone who's an existing subscriber, again, thank you so much. It means the world to me, to Ziggy, to Brutus. It spurs us on to actually, it motivates us to make more videos. And to my mate Nick, thank you so much. That video was amazing, brother. We speak most weeks, and he's coming back this week. I'm not sure if we're filming or not. But it's yeah, look, he's a great young kid. He inspires me with the stuff that he does, and that video was just I thought superb. I've said it before, but he makes my room look way better than it is. So anyway, thank you, Nick. Thank you, brother. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Brutus. I love you. I'm so pleased that you're with us. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me just in my garage. And yeah, so cheers. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye for now. All right, you guys good to go? Welcome to the fish room. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us, don't we, Zig? It's really cool. We appreciate... I know it could be a long one. You ready? We'll do this next one. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us, don't we, Zig? Yeah, that's that one. One more time. Yeah, this is one of those ones. Funnily enough, it's actually on top of the list of the stuff of the potential. I really could watch these guys for hours, but Mrs. Fishroom just screamed. I mean, she yelled. She called out to me lovingly and said that I need to come upstairs. So I best go and do that. I didn't even that one up. Did you notice? Maybe it's Ziggy. You know what? If I do the next one and I don't it up, it's definitely Ziggy, huh? All right, let's hope he doesn't watch that. You're a beautiful boy.